Leave your business analytics questions below, and I'll respond quickly or in the next episode of Louis.
Hey everybody, yes, we've got audio. Haha. How is everyone doing on this Monday morning? Hannah, good to see you. Kayla, good to see you. Mandy, good to see you. What's up, Coop? Could we cover RMSE? We can definitely cover RMSE. We start with kind of a review of what's going on this week. So 320, definitely starting early is the best way to start. It's Monday morning and I'm like, my gosh, who else is like, oh man, you know what we really need? We really need a thing called that was actually Jack's Film's voice. Maddie, I'm glad you caught that. I did a cameo with him last semester. Well, not with him, but I ordered a cameo from him. That is actually the voice of Jack's Films. So 100%. I should wonder if I have the video on here. I should be able to show it. No, it's 100%. It says cameo audition video. Okay, is this it? Oh, here it is. Here it is.
Business analytics questions.
Here, I'll play it. I'll play it in the background. You ready? Here, I'll disappear. We'll start. This is 100% him. 100% Jack's Films. I'm glad you caught that right there. Here, let me take down the background right here. There it is. So here he is.
Leave your business analytics questions below, and I'll respond quickly or in the next episode of Louis.
He's like, what the hell are you writing, man? Louis-ams? But last week I asked my students, and so I've got a bunch of different things, but thank you to Jack's Films for honoring me and doing that request, because they can always, I mean, you can't ask them to do anything like totally crazy on Cameo, but he honored it, did it, and it's actually his voice. I tried to mix it. I'm not the best with audio mixing. I mean, my backgrounds are always breaking. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. I'm always debating doing new cameos, but the really awesome ones are like $200-$300, and I'm like, I mean, Jack's Film, luckily, I think he was 50 back then. I got him for 50. I think he's upped his price since then, which he's more than welcome to do, because I was like, man, Jack's Film for 50. I mean, he's a pretty big YouTuber, so good stuff there with Jack's Films. Thank you, Jack's Films, for making that pretty interesting and giving us some content. We greatly appreciate it, and we'll start off talking about this week. Hope you're doing my brother your video. Oh, wait, what is this? Hope you're doing great. I showed my brother your video, and he said you are the Bill Nye of stats. Well, thank you very much, Julia. I really appreciate that. I've actually met Bill Nye. That's a long story. I met him 20 years ago. Oh, no. Oh, no. I start feeling old when I talk about, like, I met this person 2 decades ago. But no, I met Bill Nye. It's a longer story. I'll tell that story next time on Last Week I Asked My Students. Everyone's like, tell it. I'll tell it really quickly. The issues committee brought Bill Nye to, so I was on the issues committee when I went to UT for undergrad. Give a create a simulation question. You bet. We can do that next, Daddy. You bet. We're just chilling out here, and we're going to start up. I tell you what, stay tuned next week. I will tell the Bill Nye story. Come here Monday next week. I will tell the Bill Nye story. Sorry, Bill Nye. You're like, what is it now, Brian? We have to know. Let's start talking about some 201. You ready? So 201 this week. So stat 201 weekly goals. So the biggest thing for 201 this week is going to be the randomness homework and quiz. So you can see people in the chat are already like, can we go over the creating a simulation questions? Because these are pretty difficult. I've upped the number of attempts from 5 to 8 because some people have been doing it and they're like, hey, Brian, I've still got an 80. This is not the easiest of assignments. I do have a playlist. Let's put that playlist in the chat for some of the hardest ones. So I made a randomness playlist. So if you are doing the randomness assignments, let's make sure people know about the randomness playlist. Here it is. Grocery stores. Oh my gosh, you can hear me talking in the background. Okay, here's the randomness playlist. Let's put here randomness playlist. So the randomness playlist has really good videos. Visualization 6. Yeah, talk about some visualization 6. Oh, we need to talk about that. So visualization 6, decision trees. And then also we have Canvas content, quiz, decision trees. I've moved back our Canvas content quiz. I might do a Kahoot layer tonight. I got to make some good dinner and stuff. Grace, good to see you, Grace, here. But with all of this is kind of the key stuff. Let me see if we missed anything. Does anyone see anything we missed? I got like my 10,000 tabs open. But does anyone see anything major that we missed? We're gonna talk about 320 here for a second, but don't don't leave 201. I'm getting all choked up right here. Let's bring up the schedule. The schedule is on the screen. With the schedule on the screen, let's take a look at what we have coming up. We have the randomness. Yeah, I think we got everything covered. So this week goes until the 15th. So yeah, we're talking about up till the 15th. I mean, next Tuesday, but this is all we have this week going into next Monday. So pretty good stuff. Not that crazy of a week for 201. But what I would do if I was in 201 right now, I remember I'm always giving some advice right here. I would immediately start looking at this. And we always have attend class. So we always remember to attend class live. Get those bonus points. Get those bonus points. So let's throw out some bonus points here. I didn't do it today yet, but let's throw out some 50 bonus points. So points, add viewers plus 50. There we go. Throw out some 50 bonus points. Any questions from 201 on kind of what's going on for the week? We're going to talk 320 real briefly here, and then we're going to start doing assignments. Good to see you here, Richard. What questions are there? Like, what are people wondering about? People are getting tons of points. What are people wondering about 201 about, like, your questions? So good to see you, Cameron. Thank you. Happy Monday. It is Monday. Good to see you here, Sakia. Good to see you, Regan. What questions are there? Here's Brian's advice for the week. So this is like how to succeed in 201 right now. We've had people wondering about the randomness assignment, the visualization, anything else. Good to see you here, Parker. Good to see you, Kayla. What other questions? Tori, good to see you. Okay, class is about to start. However, I'm waiting on what should 320. Oh, yeah, Roderick. Let's do that, Roderick. So here's 201, and we're good to go. Let's talk about some 320. Now, with 320, I just released the assignment, BAS 320 weekly goals. So I just released the assignment for BAS 320. So one, look at the assignment as soon as possible. Look at the assignment as soon as possible. Look at the assignment as soon as possible. What autocorrect does it want? A period. So look at the assignment as soon as possible. Office hours are key. Office hours are key for working the assignment. Brian will often do the code and explain similar problems. So if you're stuck on anything, and what I really noticed yesterday is a lot of people were watching the videos on the YouTube channel. How should we go about studying for the BAS 320 exam? Now that's a really great thing, Olivia. Good for bringing that up. Exam has been moved from Wednesday. It's the only way I know how to spell it, to say it that way, to Friday. And I'll mention this in class, the 19th. So it's moved to 3/19. And it'll be open. It'll be open till 10 p.m. So this right here was studying for the exam. We do have, we're going to be sending out kind of an exam prep thing. Like, here's what's coming up with the exam. One big thing for the exam will be take the practice exam. So the practice exam, oh, so good to see everyone. We got Coop, Roderick here, and Olivia. So they got the 320 crowd. Love it. I think Courtney's 201, right? Courtney's 201, I think. So the practice exam has 10 questions, which can appear. The exam is going to open up Friday morning. Please let us know if you have a conflict, because we had a meeting on Friday and we moved it. Yeah, so we could open up early. Good to see you, Jensen. So, Coop, if you have a conflict, let us know, and we can move it around. We could have it open early for you on Thursday. We thought it'd be better to move it to Friday. Terry we had a big conversation, and if somebody has a conflict, you bet, Cameron, we can do that here in just a little bit. If someone has a conflict, just let us know. I got to refix my alpha levels. If someone has a conflict, just let us know as soon as possible. Does that make sense to everybody? With saying Kayla right here, like 5 a.m. on Friday or noon? I'm confused on last week it was a pretty big week. It's like middle of the semester. It's like, oh man. So I have the new assignment posted, and this will be the exam on Friday, week from Friday. What time will it open? Like 11 or what do we call it? 12:01 a.m. It'll be open till it'll be open all day. So our goal is that you can find a time that works best for you. Does that make sense, Kayla? Is that it looks like randomness quiz might win out. Randomness quiz might win out. Our goal is that it will be open all day, and then we have the practice exam, and I'll be sending out a whole bunch of stuff on how to complete this. Does that make sense to 320? Any questions? Yep. So, and if you have a conflict, please tell us. I know we put it down on Thursday, but I was outvoted, which is totally all right. I was like, we should keep it to Wednesday. And I just said Thursday a second ago. I was like, we should keep it to Wednesday. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and if there's a conflict, we can move it. We move it forward a little bit, but we'll have covered all the material. We'll have a class reviewing, and I might even. I wish it was on Wednesday. We're a team. We're a team. We're a team. I'm part of a team. Okay, I think we're good on 320. Make sure to start your assignments early, attend class. We didn't put attend class on here. A big thing is literally we keep talking about hashtags show up. Yep. Wyndham, we got those right here. We were talking about that earlier. We've got a bunch of videos going over how to do the randomness. I've got a whole playlist on some of the hardest ones, and we can do some of those here in a moment. Look, yeah, go to Alyssa's SI sessions. Spring break, don't know her. Who's that? New phone, who dis? So with this, I think we got everything set to go. Let's take some votes. Okay, I think 201, it is time to vote, 201. Let's go here to voting. Let's go over here to a poll. Let's say, what shall we do? 0 is going to be randomness assignments. 0 is randomness assignments. 2 is visualizations. So take a vote now, 201. Should we do this? Which should we do? Randomness or visualizations? People are already voting. We got some vote zeros in there. Let's put up, where's my Zoom? My brain's not working. Oh my gosh, it's winning out. Sorry, visualization. Visualization's got 2 votes. It looks like randomness assignments. Why not both? Why can't it be both? We can do that here. We can do some randomness for a bit, and then we could flip over. We can do that. Office hours, my phone says. I think it's pretty, not unanimous, but pretty popular to do the randomness assignments. So which one on the randomness assignment do people want us to do? And we'll put back up the 201 advice again. Which randomness assignment do people want us to do? Which randomness assignment do people want us to do? Which one are people stuck on? Randomness due tomorrow night, is due Friday. I know, that's what I was thinking, Courtney. I was kind of, which simulation one, Addie? Like, they're all kind of, the dice roll's got a vote right now. Take some votes. I'll look at the chat here in a moment. I'm going to pull it up while we're talking about this. Dice has another vote. We got 2 votes, dice roll question. I'll show you how to speed run the dice roll question. I want to talk about the dice roll question in 2 ways. I want to show you the way not to solve it, which is how to solve it, and then I want to show you the way to solve it. So you're like, why would you show us the way how to not solve it? Well, the homework is required, so you have to do the homework to get your attempts 2 through 5. So you have to do the homework. So the dice roll question is one of the harder questions on the homework, and a lot of people get stuck on it, and they're like, I just can't do it. So let's talk about, just strategy here. Let's talk about strategy, and let's go to the dice roll question. Which one is it? That's that one. Lucky numbers, dice roll. Okay. Let's talk about the dice roll question. Did they update this question? Oh my gosh. I think they updated the question finally. And they updated it in a way I don't like. Okay. I think we are not doing an assignment next week. We'll have the take home next week. Great question, Kayla. That's our plan, is no assignment next week, just the take home next week. Does that make sense? No assignment next week, just the take home next week. My levels are like different today. I am confused. So no assignment next week, just the take home. Now, hey, what's up, Maggie? Good to see you here. So I want us to think for a moment on this question, think some strategy. How many attempts do we get on this question? I need someone in the chat to be telling me, how many attempts do I have to do this question right here? How many attempts do I have to do this question? Yeah. Oh no, this homework question right here. This homework question, it's a homework question. Unlimited. I have unlimited attempts. Now I get 3 wrong answers till it redoes the question. But if you're working this question, you're like, I can't get it. Well, you can do the following. I have done this a little bit too much to have. Okay, I got it first try today. I did not set this up. I've done this question a lot. I've done it a lot. But let's say I'm not that great at guessing. Well, give me a similar version of the question now. Let's see. Can I get another version? Oh, man, I got to restart it? Well, I know right there. That's usually, I've had it take way longer. I've been like, we can just keep guessing. And then it takes, and someone's like, we're never going to get it, Brian. And then, yeah. So, okay, here's second time. Watch me. If I get a first try here, I'm just going to be like, really? Really? Okay, good. There we go. Second try. I swear I'm not trying to get it this quickly, but I'm purposely like guessing at it. I have ways of doing it. I look at how long the number line is. So my way of doing it is to look at the number line and to take educated guesses from what I know and what I've done with this problem, having done this problem a million times. I swear I'm not trying to not get it this time. We'll do one more. There we go. I've done this problem way too many times. Way too many times. It's getting scary. Okay, let me explain how to solve this. That's the way to not solve it. But let me try to, I'm trying to make it where I get it wrong. Okay, let me like purposely not get it right here. Okay, if you don't get it right, watch it be correct. I'd be like, come on, really? I think it's closer to about 5.4 right now. I think my actual guess is 5.4. Oh, it's 6.2. Wow, I wish I had really guessed at this. I was actually way off. So if you get it wrong, you go to similar question. Now, this will not work on the quiz. Like you can't, like this time I'm just totally not going to get it. This will not work on the quiz. So you can't use this method to brute force. And look, I was so close. That was the one between. I did like 5.8, 6.0. And so, yeah, they're usually around that. Maddie gives a really great advice right there. Like, this is, does everyone understand what I'm doing right now? I am brute force solving the problem that you can go in here and you can just keep guessing in increments of 0.1 if you get this. This is not the proper way to understand the theory behind this. This is not the proper way. You see, I was kind of close. I am actually trying to get it again. I really did get so lucky, like in a way I never get when solving this. And watch me be super close. There was 5.7. You see, I'm really close. Ooh, this one's going to be shorter. If you look at decreased in number line. So, but I am just trying to brute force solve it again. And now I'm not nearly getting as lucky as I was before. So this is not the way to solve it. But if you do this, you will eventually, if you maybe just guess repeatedly around these areas, you will eventually get it right. This is not the way to solve it. But can anyone explain? Good. Why is Brian doing this? Because what is required to get your extra attempts? Exactly. This, I would only use this method on the homework, and why? Does everyone understand why I'm doing this and why I'd maybe use this method on the homework? Like, can anyone explain the chat? Why would you use this method and why on the homework? I'm not saying this is a good idea. I'm just saying you might need to do this to make sure you get what? Because this is the homework. Because what might you be trying to get that would be required? You're trying to get more quiz attempts. Does that make sense? Like, and plus, if you just need to complete the homework, you know, I mean, I'm not saying this is a good idea, like to understand the knowledge, but just getting the grade to be able to do the quizzes. If you're in a rush, exactly, Maddie, that's the point. Now let's talk about solving this question. So one, I wanted to point out that this question, even if you don't know how to do it, with the infinite attempts you get, is just what we talk about every day. We're talking about like hashtag show up. Like if you're just like, okay, I'm just going to brute force, get the right answer, get the points for this question, you can do it. You can get the brute force right answers for this question. So that's all we were showing right there. I do not suggest that method. Now let's actually solve it. Let's actually solve the question. Okay. So to solve this question, I'm guessing 6.2 for this one. So to solve this question right here, what we need to talk about is the game of sorry. Let's talk about the game of sorry. With the game of sorry, what we have right here is you are 10 spaces away from winning the game. Has anyone in the chat ever played the game of sorry? Has anyone ever played the game of sorry? Sorry? I sound Canadian. Sorry. I was watching some Canadians earlier. Like on YouTube. Like, what, Brian? What are you talking about? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Long time ago, people were saying, oh my gosh, let's throw some 50 points. Thank you, everyone, for being here today, chatting in the chat. Mario always gets so mad when he plays. Yes, I bet I know why he gets mad, because let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what could happen. Have an empty Google Doc open to work out the problem on the homework. It's yeah, Maddie. Great tip there, Maddie. Good to see you here, Andrew. I love it, Andrew, right there. So let's say you're starting right here. There's your sorry piece. And here's home. How many spaces do you have to move till you're home? How many spaces do you have to move till you're home and you win? So you just look at this right here. How many spaces does the game say you have to move till you win? You know, we can actually do this. We're going to bring up jump, because I mean R. We're going to bring up R. How many spaces do you have to move till you win? We're talking about, okay. Let's roll a dice. 10 spaces. Let's roll a dice. I roll a 3. Okay, with a 3 rolled, I'm going to roll right here. 1, 2, 3. Does everyone understand what happened right there? I rolled a 3, and I moved 3 spaces. Let's roll again, and I guess we need to write down that 3. I hope it doesn't. Please let me move my piece. There's a 3. Let's roll the dice again. And so now we roll, and we get a 4. Now we move here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. How many spaces do I have to roll right now to win? Like, how many spaces do I need to roll to win? Does everyone see what I'm doing? I'm moving towards home. I rolled a 3, then I rolled a 4. How many spaces do I have to roll to win right now? 10 total, but I have to move 3 more, right? Because we're just trying to get those numbers right there to add up to 3. So, or add up to 10. Add up to 10. Sorry, I'm going to change one thing right here. I think this needs to be... There we go. Never try changing your cameras. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Let's take a look, and let's roll the dice one more time. This is just randomness. And 4. Okay, what happens now? Who can explain what happens now with me rolling a 4? Because if I try to move four spaces, 1, 2, 3, what happens when you play sorry, and you try to move 4 spaces with this? What happens if I try to move 4 spaces? Exactly. You can't roll. Maddie explained it perfectly. That 4 can't be used. Let's highlight it in a little bit different of a color just to say, like, we can't use this. Does everyone understand? Like, if I try to use this 4 right here, I'm going to go like, no, I can't use it. I can't use it. I can only use up to 3. So let's roll again. And we got a 2. Now, what do I have to roll right now? What do I have to roll right now to win? What do I have to roll to win? Parker, you're exactly right. And Reagan and Parker, everyone's getting it. We have to roll a 1. So you should notice now I'm 1 space away. If I roll a 2, I'd go over. If I roll a 3, I go over. I have to roll a 1. So I'm going to go right here. 2, 6, 5, 6. Oh my gosh. 2, 6, 5, 6. This could be bad, everyone. This could be very bad. 4, 4, 4. Oh, no joke. Pure randomness. 4 4s. 5, 6. Ah! This is like, you were so close to winning. I swear I'm not cheating. I swear I'm not cheating. I swear I'm not cheating. This is the way it goes. How many turns did it take us? How many turns did it take us? How many turns did it take us to get home? And I'm doing something to help right here. How many turns did it take us to get home right here? Who can tell us how many turns it took us to get home? I'm trying to group them so I can, if I could have spread them out more evenly, it'd be easier to see. I think, am I counting wrong? Oh my gosh, I'm counting wrong. Oh my gosh, thank you everybody. What? Brian can't count. The chat was saying a different number than I had on here. So I was like, maybe it's me. Maybe I made a mistake. The impossible has happened. Or the very likely event of Brian making a mistake has happened. So it is 15 trials, 15 rolls of the dice it took. It's so crazy because we got so close at the start. And if we're color coding this, then we would put all these as red, like we can't use these. Okay, so, and there are the trials. What do you notice about all these numbers here that we did use? 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. Lord depressed Maddie, that's awesome. And then let's throw 20 words right there. And then this adds up to 10. So all these numbers right here that we're highlighting, all these numbers in yellow are the ones we are using. You might say, well, why did you not use the 4? Because it went over. Why'd you not use the next 2? Because it went over. So we only use those numbers there. So if you understand how to do one of these trials, you should understand now how to do repeated trials. And now let's see if they've changed the question, because they changed a little bit of it. Let's see how it works nowadays with this. Okay, we're going to take the numbers and we need to clean them first. So let's go ahead and grab these numbers right here. You have to start right here, and then you have to go through, and you have to go to right here. Did everyone notice what I'm doing? This is a big, crucial step, is starting right here at the period before it, and then scrolling down and going to right here. This is a crucial step. I'm going to do it one more time. Start right here and click and hold, and then drag downward till you select through to this O right here. Now hit Control-C or Command-C on a Mac, Control-C on a PC, Command-C on a Mac. Go back to your Word document and paste. Now it looks like it did not double copy. I'm going to delete the extra stuff. I think, did it double copy or did it not? I'll tell you right away. It did not double copy the numbers. It did not double copy the numbers. And what do I mean by that? If you use Control F or Command F, you should only see 1968 or the first 4 numbers. Sometimes it will do the following. If it does this, it has double copied the numbers. Good. They might have updated that so it doesn't double copy now. If it double copies, you can find out by searching the first 4 numbers. And if you see them repeat, delete the extra numbers. You just want one line of the numbers. So now what do we have right here? We don't have dice rolls right now. And why do we not have dice rolls? Can anyone explain why these are not dice rolls? Who can explain in the chat right now why these are not dice rolls? Who can explain why these are not dice rolls? Good. Who can explain why these are not dice rolls right now? Who can explain why these are exactly 0, 8, 9, 7? Dices are only 1 through 6. So it's much easier with R to simulate this because you can just go in here and just simulate a dice roll and you get a dice roll. So that's why I like R. And so what we need to do is we need to use find and replace. So hit Control F or Command F, and under the options, which are right here, you want to go to advanced. Which one is it? It's replace. Replace right here. Unless we get one of those fancy dice like a D20 or D10 or D infinity or something crazy. We're going to delete them and let's go to replace. And it should, under the Mac version, I think it's over here on your Mac. So, fail call. So on the Mac, you should have the down arrow next to it and look for the replace option, how to replace things. We're going to go right here. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see. I'm going to find what? I'm going to find 0. And what am I going to replace 0 with? I'm going to replace it with nothing. That deletes all of them. I'm going to find 7. And what am I going to replace it with? Nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. 8 replaced with nothing at all. And 9 replaced with nothing at all. So with this right here, we now have a number line of dice rolls. So this is actually available for us to simulate with now. We can simulate the dice rolls and simulate the game. We're doing 10 simulations of this. So with 10 simulations, oh, I need to fix my alpha. So don't look at the chair. So when we do 10 simulations here, let's take a look. In the first simulation, I want you to, as you do this with me, I want you to say the numbers like, we're just going to do the first one together because there's like a 5-second delay here, but I want you to practice this. Here's what I say. You ready? On the Mac, it should be an option up here. When you hit Command F, is there a down arrow up here, Addy? Help the Mac people with what they should be doing. Like explain this because I can't show the Mac version while I'm on a PC right now. But is there when you hit Command F, does it come up with a search window up here in the top right? And then you should see a down arrow, which allows you to do like find and replace. That's so you hit Command F, and then it comes up with a search window in the top right over there. And then you should have a down arrow that goes to like find and replace. Like it should be like advanced. Yep. There we go. There we go. So, and thank you everybody right there. Good practice. And that's how you can find and replace on the Mac on Word. And so now what we're going to do, so Addy, I think you should be good, hopefully. Yeah. Great job, everyone working on this. So if you make one mistake, this problem just explodes. Any explosions on the screen. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start here and we're going to start rolling the dice. I want everyone to tell me what we're at. And if we go over, I want you to say the word over. So you have to do this total in your head. And I want you to start saying the amount we have. And if we go over, I want you to say over. So here's the first roll. How much do we have? We just rolled the dice. And I want to know the total each time. So now what do we have total right now? So you're welcome, Maddie, anytime. What do we have total right now? What is the total that we're at? 1. We are at 1. So what is the total? We roll the dice again. What is the total now? So we roll the dice again, and you see it rolled a 6. And what are we at total now? 7. We're at 7 because 1 plus 6 is 7. Remember the word we're going to use if it's too much. So we roll the dice again. We're at 7. We get 5. What do we have now? So make sure to review the first part of this. What do we have now? Use the word we have here because we were at 7. We're over. And here's the really good news. I love it because this simulation, I don't know if they purposely do this, but guess what? So we skip this. We skip it because it's over. We can't use it like the previous example we did back here when we were rolling way too much and we couldn't use them. We go right here and we roll the next one. We get a 3. 3 plus 7 is 10. Simulation done. Here's how we do it. We go 4, 7, over 8, over 9, and then you have to go to this. That's 10, 3, 7, over 8, 10, 9, 10, 6, 10, 7, 10, 10, 4, 7, 10, 10, 10, and these are extra numbers. Did everyone see what we did right there? Does that, I sped it up as I was going. I just started, that's how we did it. That's how we did it. But does this make sense? This one was a weird one. The longest one we had right here where we did 4, then 7, then over, then 8, then over, then 9, and then you have to go to the 10. So be very careful because you don't want to get to 7 and be like, I need a 3 because this eventually goes to 3. Just be very, very careful. A lot of people will search for a thing. It's like speed counting, speed adding. When I was in kindergarten, they were like, let's see him go brr. They were like, who can count? And I was like, I can count to 100. And they're like, do it. And I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I went to 100. And they're like, okay, good. And I was like, 101, 102, 103, 100. They're like, okay, stop, little kid. Stop, kid. You kid. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that, Reagan. No, remember this is recorded. Come back and check it out. I hope everyone's doing all right. Sorry about that. That's no fun. So here's the really great way about solving this now. If you go down here to the very bottom of your document, it says 10 words. You should see 10 words. So let's zoom in on this. You should see 10 words, which means we've done 10 trials of this. I'm bad at anything English. I'm only good at anything math. That's where my skill set is. English, no. Math, yes. History, no. Math, yes. Everyone's like, no. So right here, we see that there are 10 words and 51 characters. So if there's 51 characters right here, does anyone know the answer? Like, we have 10 trials and we have 51, or let me do this. Let's make it look a little bigger. So if you have 11 words, let me point this out. Sometimes it gives you, so great question right there, Abigail. Sometimes it gives you extra things at the end. Like I had these extra numbers. They're just kind of extra things right there. So you just delete off the extras. You shouldn't have more than 10 trials. You should only have 10. If you have extra numbers, delete them off. They're just giving you extra numbers to see if you shouldn't use them. But so my simulation here did have these extra 2 numbers and I just deleted them off. Great question right there, Abigail, because a lot of people are like, wait a minute, I've got these extra numbers. What do I do with them? You just don't use them. So with this, we have 10 words right now. Addie knew exactly what to do. We're going to go right here and we're going to take and say we had 51 dice rolls over 10 trials or 10 simulations, and that'll be the answer. So the answer is going to be 51 over 10. The answer is going to be 5.1. Microsoft Word, go burr. Microsoft Word's like, no, this is not what I was intended for. I was not intended to do simulations, but you know what? Woo, I take a big sigh of relief every time I see that answer is correct right there. I take a big sigh of relief. I'm going to do one thing right here. Which other one do people want to do next? Which other question do people want to do next? I wonder. Okay, you're about to see things get a little bit crazy right here. I'm going to try to make it so my chair is not as sparkly. It's this room changes lighting. Let me record this number. 427. 427. 427. 427. That should drastically be changing it. Oh, no, no, no. Don't do it here, Brian. You're a fool, Brian. You're a fool. Don't do that. This is not where the filter's on. Let's go to the behind the scenes real quick. Lottery simulation. We can do the lottery simulation next. Here, let's go to the behind the scenes. Looks better, not as sparkly. We can go with this. We got this. It's the fun of audio gone. Yeah, sorry. Audio back. There's no audio on that channel. There's no audio. Brian got voided. Wait. I know, I was messing around. Okay, so which one do we have? Do we do, everyone wants to do the lottery simulation right here? I know, it's the behind the scenes fixing stuff. I got Thanos snapped right there. Just, I can't snap with that hand. I got dusted. Oh, I was late. Got to bring in the boss. Where's boss at? Boss is over here if we want to bring in the boss. There's the boss right here. So it's got the green glowing things. What questions? We got lottery question. Let's do a lottery question. That seems to be a pretty high vote. So lottery question. How does the lottery, which lottery question are you guys talking about? Which lottery question are you guys talking about? I need to like bolt down the camera. I need to bolt it down so it never moves. Why is, what? Oh, it's locked. That why. Number 4, is it on the homework? Number 4 on the homework? Number 4 on the homework? On the homework? Okay, cool. Let's do that. We'll make it serious. Serious face. Rafael Zaldivar with his serious face. Let's get some OJ. Sparkly OJ. Look at that. Sparkly. Like green screened. Hey, Mary Beth. Good to see you here. Many states run lotteries. I would not suggest... only gamble with money you're willing to lose. Like, I could lose this money. Only gamble in that way. This lottery from this state is rather interesting. This lottery from this state is you only win if you get the number 1. Now, the easiest way, we're using Microsoft Word again for unintended purposes. Let's hit Control. Well, the way the game works, let me explain the way the game works. The way this game works is you win this lottery when what? You win this lottery when what? How do you win this lottery? Which it's apparently got a 10% chance of winning. How do you win this lottery? 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 When you get 1. So you have to imagine this. So imagination. So we go right here and we could say lottery. Let's play the lottery. And here you go. Did you win? You did not win. Let's play the lottery again. Did you win? You did not win. Let's play the lottery again. Did you win? You did not win. Oh, you finally won. 4th try, you won. So here's a good question we sometimes ask on the test. Just by virtue of the way this game is set up, what is the probability you win the lottery? Just by the way the numbers are coded right here, you can see right here we have numbers 0 through 9. If you can't see, it's code. It's numbers 0 through 9. And then if you get a 1, you win. So by the virtue of the way this game is set up with these random numbers right here, what is the probability you win? So by virtue of numbers 0 through 9, and then if you get a 1, you win. What the way the game is coded or arranged, what is the probability you win the lottery? Just, you need to get 1 out of these numbers, like the number 1 to win. So what is the probability is 10%. Nice job right there, Garrett. So these are questions we put on the test sometimes, like the way the game is coded, what is the probability of winning by random chance? So you have a 10% chance of winning, and now we have to go look at the simulation. Let's imagine what's happening right here. You play the lottery, and on the first day, what happens? What happens when you play the lottery on the first day? Go away, Microsoft Word. Office, yep, yep, totally recorded, Addy. Yep. And we timestamp them later. We timestamp them, so we put in the like, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this. On the first day, what happens? On the first day of the lottery, what? On the first day of the lottery, it's a weird officer's day, I lost my money. And then on the second day, I lost my money again. On the third, fourth, and fifth days, I lost my money. And the same thing happened next week. This is a horrible Christmas song. On the 16th day of the lottery, I finally won. And then I won the 17th and the 19th. Brian can't sing. You're like, oh, my ears, Brian, stop this. Stop it now. So let's take a look right here. Here's the quick way of solving it. So we're using Control F again. I know we need to stop playing, right, Coop? It's like, you got a problem here, Brian. You need to stop playing the lottery. So we, using Control F again, how many times out of all these trials did we win? So it should be pretty easy using Control F right here to see how many times did we win. I just use Control F or Command F, and then it's highlighting these for me. So I don't have to worry about like my eyes, which are not good. But I can now see we won how many times. We won 6. Nice job right there, Coop. 6 out of 60. That's 100% right. 6 out of 60 trials. I had a duplicate question that I got on. Yep. No, Robbie, we fixed that. Did you see my announcement? I'll mention that next here, and we'll talk about that in class, definitely. I saw an email sent out to the SI group chat saying we could. Well, here, I'll show you. Ooh, I'm going to show something. Let's do this. So we figured out how to do this one. There are 60 total trials. I'm excited because, Coop, you're going to get to see something really cool right here. And I'm going to make sure it doesn't have, I don't think it has anything that, we'll take a look here in 2 seconds. 10%, which is actually what we said the probability would be according to the simulation. So let me, 2 seconds, I'm going to pull something up and I want to show something really cool. This took a while to make and it was much quicker than probably doing it by hand. I say probably. Let me take a look at this. Okay, here we go. And I think this just has it. Okay, cool. Okay. Making sure it doesn't have anything in here that... Yeah, we're good. It's just column names and stuff. Okay. So... Yeah, we're good. Okay. So, Robbie, so this is what I did over the weekend. This was my Saturday. Sunday was asynchronous, and then asynchronous course development, and then Monday, yeah, anyways. But what I did right here, I want you to see the repeat question right here. So, Coop, hopefully it's a bit much right here, but let me explain what's going on with this condition right here. This condition right here checks to see if somebody did not get points for question, which is column 82 in this. So right here, you notice we have column 82, because this is rows and columns. And then what are we checking? We're checking to see that they did not get points for this question, and they did not get points for this question. Does that make sense? Like, does the condition kind of make sense here a little bit? That, like, they did not get points for column 82, and they did not get points for column 92. So then this just replaces NAs because there were some people who didn't have the question appear twice. So I'm only taking into account people who did not get points the first time there. So this is you, Robbie. I'm taking into account people who did not get points the first time and did not get points the second time. Does that make sense, Robbie? Like, if you did not get points the first time and you did not get points the second time, I'm taking this into account with this condition right here. So it said, like, someone was asked a question, they got it wrong. Really, lighting? I felt my lighting change. I saw the camera changed color. So we have right here, first time it was missed, second time it was missed. And then what we get down to here is the if-else function. So the if-else function goes right here, that if, which I don't even think I have this condition stored anymore. A condition vector looks like the following. Here, I'll just make a condition vector. A condition vector would look like the following. It'd be like trues and falses. So what would happen here is when we run this right here, the people who met the condition would get 2 points, and the people who don't meet the condition would not get the 2 points. So anybody, like, these are the people who had the question appear twice and missed it twice. So they would meet the condition and then I'd go right here. And what I did and so this is in my email announcement, is I made all of these adjustment vectors right here. And through these adjustment vectors, I then went on and added the points. Yeah, exactly. Double check, see if there's anything else, but I should have everything accounted for. Like, I'll explain the things I corrected. So the first thing I corrected was the residual question. So these are people who answered residual right here. So you see I put like the name of the question I was working on right here. So these are the people who answered residual but lost the points. So if somebody had residual, they got 2 points, and if not, they got 0. This is not losing points. It's only the people who answered residual who didn't get the points are now getting the points. That's my first adjustment right there. Does that make sense? Like, don't worry about reading the code too much. It's just like, if in the answer set for this question, somebody put the answer residual, they got 2 points. If they did not, then they didn't get a point adjustment. Oh, wait, did Asynchronous not get this announcement? They should have. If they didn't, that is completely my fault. I should have. No, I think I sent it out. It's test 1. This is the announcement right here. Sorry, I just sent it out yesterday because did I send it out yesterday? I think I sent it out yesterday. Everything's blurring. Yeah. So this is going over right here, the residual answer. So the residual answer was coded right here to fix the residual question and get the points back. This one right here was where the percentages, people answered like numbers. They used a percent instead of a decimal. So I fixed that one. I gave the points back for that. Here's another one where it was percents and decimals. I gave the points back for that. Here's another one where it was percents and decimals. I fixed that one by creating the vector right here. Here's another one with percents and decimals on this. Time, can I get the, yeah, and it should be, you should have the points. Email me if you feel you don't, I'll double check, but everyone should have it from my sections. I went in, and if you're not in my section, I think you're supposed to email your instructor. Your instructor has hopefully sent something out, but I was like, I didn't, the same question right the first time and wrong. So in that instance, it is wrong. I'm sorry, G, but it would be wrong. So we don't want to count someone wrong for getting it wrong twice, like, because then it's like, but does that make sense? Like, it's like, we're not going to count people off for it wrong twice, but I know it's a tough situation. And does that make sense right there? Because yeah, it's hard for us to tell, like, if you click 2 different answers, I'm sorry. So I went through and wrote all the corrections right here that we did. And so then I made all the adjustments. I added on the points, and then I wrote it here. And then I found the adjustment. It was about a 2 point, like, on average, people got about 2 points back. Some people, one person got as much as like 8 points back. So I think one person jumped from like a 82 to a 90. So I saw some pretty big jumps in grades. Like, I looked at all the grades. I also made sure that I uploaded the right grades. It was a lot of double, triple checking, because last thing I want to do is upload the wrong grades. And then people were like, wait, my grade dropped like 10 points. What happened? But for my students, who has seen the regrade, who has seen that they have a regrade, which is something I'm going to be talking about in class to start. I'm going to mention the regrade to start. Has everyone seen the regrade where it says, like, this is the regrade? Yep, Tori saw it. Did it? Yep, Zoya saw it. So Caitlin saw it. So I did put out a regrade, and then look through to make sure everything's graded properly. If you have questions, let me know. But I went through and pretty much looked at anything I disagreed with, downloaded all the grades, worked on this code right here. Awesome. I hope it benefited people, and I tried to be as fair as possible with everything, so that way, that's our goal. Good to see everybody. What questions are there? Do you guys want to do more randomness, visualization? What do you want to do? But went through and code all. So let's give some 20 points out right here. Can we do number 5 on the homework as well? You bet. Let's do it, Garrett. So my goal, I think, personally, I just think it's better than asking everyone to email me. Could you do a trial problem? Yeah, which trial problem? And then we got some, RMSE, let's do that. Coop will do that right after this one. We'll talk about RMSE. More randomness. Everyone loves randomness. All about randomness today. Let's, Coop, we got that next. We're going to do number 5 on the homework. And then we will come back here, Coop, and we'll talk about RMSE for a second. So, now if you want to hang out, Coop, for a moment longer, we'll do it after this. From the quiz, the couple question, ooh, that's a big one. And I will say this, if we don't do certain ones today, if we don't get to them, let me drop the playlist in the chat again. I go over how to do all of them in the chat right here. The couples one is one of the hardest ones, and we'll do Coop's question right after this one. You ready? So, and I think the people want to do the couples one next. So let's take a look right here. You take a quiz, 6-question quiz. Let's take a look. Here's the questions. Now, what I do for this one is I copy paste like follows. I'm going to copy it like this and go right here and take the question. And the way this works for this question is we need to know the numbers 0 through 7 correct answers, 8 through 9 wrong answers with a Q. So let's take a look and see what happens here. So with this question right here, I want us to look at first the first trial. So what happens here with the first question? Did we get the first question right or wrong? We're taking the 6-question multiple choice question. Did we get the first question right or wrong? Did we get the first question right or wrong? Did we get the first one right or wrong? First one right or wrong? Is the first question we took a correct answer or a wrong answer? Is the first question we took a correct answer or a wrong answer? Is the first question a correct answer or a wrong answer? I do not know. It is a right answer. It falls into this category of right answers. How about, how many questions did we get wrong in the first trial right here? So when you look at this first trial of questions, how many questions did we get wrong in this first trial? So a trial is like we're simulating 6 times. We got 2 wrong. So anytime you see 8 through 9, we get those questions wrong. So that means we got 1 wrong here. We got 1 wrong here. We got some wrong here. Hopefully tell me if I'm doing this correctly. I'm trying to mark every time we get 1 wrong. Oh my gosh, we did so bad on this one. I'm trying to mark anytime we get them wrong. Please tell me if I missed, because as we found out earlier, Brian can't count. Can Brian mark all the simulations? Okay, so we should have, you missed 1 on the last row. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? How did I miss it? Where is it? It's a 9. I missed a 9. I wish I could control F through this and look through it. How am I this blind? Right next to the 8? Oh, God. I'm looking at all the 8s. I am so blind, Coop. I do. Oh, my gosh. On the first row. There it is. There it is. Well, good news is, here's the really good news. Is these are the trials we got correct. And had I missed that, I still would have done all right. And if I am correct, these are the only simulations through here. Thank you, everybody. Yep, I do make mistakes. I just did that on purpose right there. So how many simulations do I get everything correct? How many simulations do I get everything correct right here? How many simulations do I get everything correct? And how many of these simulations do I get everything correct? I'm going to fix my camera after this. 4. We have 20 total. Can you also do the randomness question about the website and the elementary school teachers? Yeah. Oh, that's one of the homework. We'll do that one next, and we're going to do Coop's question because that's homework. So we've covered a lot of the homework today. 4 out of 20. So we have 4 out of 20 trials right here where we get everything correct. So that estimates the probability right here to be 4 out of 20. Go away, go away. 4 out of 20 is going to be 20% unless my brain's broken. And there we go. We've almost done all the homework today. Let's hop back here to this one. This one is actually one of the ones I'm always like, wait a minute. So in the long run, a coin will generate 50% approximately, but for each coin flip, the outcome cannot be predicted. I can't remember if they're talking about an infinite long run. But for any coin flip, the outcome can only be, oh no, that it's A or D. Let's look at this. Exactly 50%. See, are they talking, can you go over the predictor variables for visualization? Yeah, I think we can. Yep. We'll do that after we're going to do Coop's question. We're going to finish the homework, do Coop's question, and then we'll do that next, Tori. You got it. You got it. And so, is it A or D? So I always, my brain always thinks, well, theoretically, if you do it, like, are they talking about a long run or an infinite long run? They talk, because in an infinite long run, the law of large numbers states that we will see the true probability. So my brain overall always overthinks this one because they're not talking about an infinite long run. It doesn't say an infinite run here. It just says a long run, which means maybe like 200 trials or 300 trials. So they're not talking about an infinite run, because the law of large numbers would relate to an infinite run. And if the coin is exactly fair, with infinite trials, we would see it. But infinity is not a true quantity, it's a concept. So you can't say infinity exists. There's no infinities that exist. Oh, this is the baby's question. Is the children with the things here not here? We did this one last time. So check out last video on this one right here. There's one more one I want to do right now because people mentioned it. Let's do the one with the school children. Then we're going to do Coop's question next. And then we're going to do visualization a little bit. So, where is it? Got to go over here. Let's do the one related to school children doing the states. That's an easy one. There's no video on that one. So I'm picking ones where there's no video on them or I don't have a video posted. So if you are looking for the couple question, you're going to hear me talking. So the individuals pairing question, I do have a video on, which we can do, like especially next office hours, we can do that one. I'll do it during office hours. That's why I've been focusing on this a lot today because this is the like more pressing thing that's going to be due. And so thank you everyone. And you can always outvote me. If everyone's like, do this, and I'll be like, okay, we'll do this. So let me pull up the question right here. We're going to do the children getting assigned states. The children getting assigned states, then Coop's question, then visualization. Okay. So children getting us, oh, it's chapter 10. I don't know which quiz we're doing. How is everyone doing today? I don't think I asked that. I usually try to ask that at the start to see how everyone's doing. Here we go. I am doing good. I've got orange juice. We got the children assigned state. Okay. This question tries to set you up for failure. How dare you, question? This question tries to set you up for failure with the following. When it talks about the states the students are assigned, they're in 2-digit number combinations. So what 2-digit number combinations would we use? Here, I'll give you some ideas. Would you use 2-digit number combinations like 0 through 9? Would you use 2-digit number combinations this? Which of these 2-digit number combinations would you use? One of them is not even a 2-digit number combination. Which of these 2-digit number combinations would you use to assign states? Which of these 2-digit number combinations would you use to assign states? Which of these 2-digit number... You know, I think we got to 50 states and we're just like, that's a nice round number. Because it's weird. We got to 50 and we just stopped. We're like, yeah, 50 is good. Let's not change it. So, close, Caitlin. Close, Caitlin. Close. If we have... an excellent work right there. If we use 0, 0 through 50, then we'd have 51 states. We want to use 0, 1 through 50. Basically think it's like 1 through 50 states, and we're just putting a 0 before it. Does that make sense, everybody? So don't worry, and I love that 2 people answered it. Let's throw some 20 points. When no one's answering, it's oftentimes like, wait a minute. Like, what will the answer be? So if we're assigning states, 50 points, why not? For 50 states. Does that make sense? With assigning states, we want to use this one right here. And we're using 2-digit number combinations. Yeah, that's, once you see it, it's like, oh, I get it. It's like, yeah, we're using 0, 1 through 50, which is 1 through 50 states. So that's what we're doing with this number line right here. And I love that 2 people answered it incorrectly. I'm just throwing out another 20 points. You're like, Brian, why are you so happy people are answering things incorrectly? Because they're answering and we're practicing. And that's the whole point. Now is the time to get answers wrong. You know, we need that. Like, I'm going to put that in MuBot. Like, now is the time to get answers wrong. You know, don't worry about getting things right now. Just worry about understanding, learning, and practicing right now. So we want to understand. You're welcome, Reagan. Yeah, we understand, we learn, we practice, and yeah, exactly. Practice makes permanent. I love that right there. That's perfect, Kaylin, right there. There's nothing wrong with putting out a wrong answer, and then someone's like, well, actually, let's talk about this. Let's think about this. And so let's see. This is how they set you up for failure. So we're gonna blame Pearson. We're looking at 2-digit number combinations. So I'm going to set us up for success right here. This is where people's brains break. You have to bridge the gap right there. So I'm just doing an on-off color coding to help see the numbers. You do not have to do this. But what is Brian building right here? Brian right now is just building 2-digit number combinations, just so we can help see visually. Do you see a state on here that does not exist from our numbers? Do you see a state on here that would not exist? 77, exactly. That's a state that does not exist. We're not going to use that. So let's go ahead here, and little Johnny comes up to the board. I had a teacher in high school. His name was Mr. Wright, and he said he wanted to name his kid Johnny Can't. The worst thing. He wanted to name his kid Johnny Can't Write. So they're like, can Johnny Can't come to the board? Like, Johnny Can't who? Johnny Can't Write. Like, Dad, why'd you do this to me? Why? So the first state Johnny picks is going to be 12. So Johnny's going to use state 12 for his report. And then Johnny picks state 60. I don't know why. We're trolling this kid right here. You can't have state 60, Johnny. It does not exist. So next we go right here. Johnny gets state 31. Now, one big thing we need to know is we're not going to let these kids work on the same state because everyone's going to pick Tennessee because Tennessee's the best state. Sorry, Texas. Tennessee's the best state. Knoxville's the best city. And the fort is where to live. That's where I say. So anyways, we've got here Johnny has state 12. What would that be? Delaware? I don't know. State 31, New York. New York right here. Go Vols. Amen. Got some amen. Love some Vols right here. So we got right here, these are Johnny's states. And now Brian goes up to the board. What does Brian pick first? What state does Brian pick? What does GBO stand for? What state does Brian pick to start? Then we're talking RMSE in the assignment. What state does Brian pick to start? Brian walks up, picks his states to do a report on. What states does Brian pick? What states is Brian going to start his report on? Brian's first state is what? Oh, go Big Orange. Yeah, go Big Orange. I forgot about that. Thank you, Jensen. I totally thought it was okay. I just was like, I can't remember. 49. Brian gets state 49 right here. Brian gets state 49. And then what state, be very careful, what state does Brian get next? Brian gets 49, but be careful. Why? What state does Brian get next and why? What state does Brian pick next and why? Correct. I do pick 38. And why would I pick 38 right here? Why is Brian picking 38 and not 31? Can't repeat exactly. We can't assign the same state. So you could continue trials right here. The next, we're going to put this in red. The next child who goes to the board, Sarah, I don't know, gets 41 and 14. And then the next person who goes to the board gets state 7 because that hasn't been picked yet. And then we don't have any more simulations after this. It'd actually be way easier to do this. You could literally go over here to R and you could just do states. Like it'd be so easy. All you need to do this, to assign states right here, if you wanted to randomly, you go here to sample states. And there you go. You get 7 and 37 and 37, 46 and 5, 13. You can just go here and do two order pairs. So you can easily do this. I could even code the names of the states in and say, you get this state, and I can just randomly sample like the order right there. So this is why R is just makes life way easier. You don't have to worry about repeating numbers and stuff. It can just be instantaneously done like this. You can create a random order of states with 1 through 50 states. So we're just doing it kind of the understanding way. So I wish we could just do it the easy way. 12, 31, 49, 38. Okay, let's hope we got this in our heads. 12, 31, 49, 38. Was that correct? Oh, I shouldn't cheat. I think that's right? Watch me have correct. Yeah, we got it right. I was like, what if I type it wrong? So does this make more sense on this one? Once you know how to do this one, I think it's a lot easier. One of the key things, let me mention this. One of the key things for working on this, can you do the website one on the randomization? Which one is, can you explain which one that is? Ryan, can you go into a little more detail? And then we'll probably do that. We're going to do a little bit on the visualization because I think people were wondering about that. And then we can do some more randomness. We're going to talk, Coop had questions on RMSE. We're going to talk about that for just a moment, probably 5-minute talk on RMSE, so don't leave yet. Let's talk about the RMSE real quick. When we have the RMSE, like I want us to think about this. We are going to make a model. So this is cool stuff that we did in 201. Let's make a model predicting somebody's height from their weight. This is regression. So regression, 201 did some regression. 320 does way more regression. It's the name of their class. Here is the model predicting height from weight. So we have a model right here predicting someone's height from their weight. What do you generally see? That two people who differ in their weight by 1 pound are expected to differ in their height by 0.07 inches, where the person who weighs more is expected to be taller. So hopefully this makes sense here that we have a sort of positive, somewhat linear. There's a bit of non-linearity up here. A positive, somewhat linear Q, straight enough. No outliers. Uh-oh. Plot doesn't thicken. Lottery wins. I think, oh, I know which one that is, Ryan. I think I know which one. We'll do that next here, or we're going to do visualization. We can do that one next after this. So we should have time by the end. So with this right here, what would the intercept interpretation be, Coop? Like when we talk about the intercept right here, we're saying what? Like think about when x is equal to 0, we'd expect what? Like what does the intercept interpretation relate to? And does the intercept interpretation make any sense right here? What is the intercept interpretation, and does the intercept interpretation make any sense? Like among people who are this, we would generally predict this for them. Among people who are this, it predicts what the y value would be, but what is like, if you had to write it on the test, this is like really good test practice right now because I do have written questions. We'll talk more about what's going to be on the test, but there's definitely interpret. So it doesn't make sense. And you're right, because among people who have a weight of 0, that's where the intercept is. Among people who have a weight of 0, we would predict that their height is 56 inches. So among people, 56.34. Among people who have a weight of 0, we would predict that their height is 56.34 inches on average. That doesn't make much sense right there. Like it's like among people who have a weight of 0, the prediction is 56.34 inches tall. That does not make sense. But using this model right here, let's look at the residual standard error. The residual standard error. Now the residual standard error is same thing as root mean squared error. Now, we need to know what the error is in a model. What is another word for the error a model makes? So 201, good review right here. If you ever take 320, really good review. If you think about the error a model makes, what is the term for this error that a model makes right here? That green thing I've got highlighted. So that green thing I've got highlighted right there is just a what? Close, Caitlin, close. Residual. That's just the residual. That's just an error. Would you agree with me that our model is going to have lots of errors? Who agrees with me this model has lots of errors? Like there's lots of different errors depending on the point. Lots of different errors right here. So with this right here, with the model having lots of errors right here, let's look at the term root mean squared error. So you might be like, what's the point of this whole root mean squared error? Root mean squared error. Well, we know the error is just the residual, which is how much the model misses by. So since the error is just the residual, why don't we just add up all the errors? Why don't we just do something like, why don't we just do mean error? Because let's add up all the errors and just do the mean of that. Why don't we just do that? Because to get the mean, you add everything up, divide by how many there are. Why don't we just do the mean error? I want everyone to think about there's a points below, points above. You've got your negative residual zone. You've got the positive residual zone. Why don't we just add up all the errors? You've got things that have a residual of 0. Why don't you just add up all the errors and just take the average of that and get the mean error? Because this is the negative residual zone. This is the positive. Let's just get the mean error. There's residuals of 0 if they're on the line. You'd get 0, right? Like if you were to add up all the errors. So does everyone agree theoretically we can't do this? Like, I mean, we could, but we just get 0 because if you get the mean error. So what does squaring something do? If you square something, like if you have negative numbers and you square them all, what does that do? Exactly right, Kaylin. You're exactly right. Great work. If you square something, what does that do to it? If you square negative numbers, what does it do? Basically, it takes absolute value. Nice job, Connor, right there. And we have the other one too. We square it, and that's going to turn it into a positive number. And then what do these two things do here? Square and root do what to each other? What does like squaring and rooting do? Like if you square something and then root it, so you square it and then root it, and what does that do to the number when you square and root it? I might have broke Microsoft Word. I didn't break Microsoft Word. If you square it and root it, then what happens? They cancel each other out. Exactly. I thought I had to do. They cancel each other out. So when you think about the root mean squared error, that is what it looks like visually. Now, this is the RMSE, the root, go big orange, root mean squared error. So this is the root mean squared error, and it's what? Like when you look at this visually, it's how much we usually what by. So when you think about this visually and the residuals, it's kind of a what for the model. So the root mean squared error, which is this orange lines right here, it's about how much we what by when we make predictions. Like it's like a typical size of this. Think about this. It's like on average, the blank is usually this. Because all you're doing is this right here. All that you're trying to understand is this. So you're just saying it's the typical what the model makes when it makes predictions. Like when we predict some y value, we typically are off by this amount. Is that making more sense? Like this is like the average miss. Like if you were to say plus or minus this is like, it's not saying we will miss by this. Don't use the word we will miss. It's like saying on average, we generally miss by this. Sometimes it's a little bit more. You can see where it's a little bit more. Sometimes it's a little bit less. Sometimes we make perfect predictions, but it's like the average error. Richard, great job right there. Richard, are you 201 or 320? Because that's a great 320 answer. It's like your average error the model makes when making predictions. You're not going to make this error, so don't say like we will miss by this much. It's like, we usually are off by about this much when we make predictions. Like you have to put some uncertainty in it because sometimes you're off by a little bit more. You can see the residuals that are bigger than this. And so nice job, Richard. Yep. I was like, I think you're 320. And so yes, it looks like you're getting it down. This is the concept. When trying to reduce your average miss of a model, do you prefer? So is it great question right there? Because the other one, I'm gonna miss this really briefly right here because kind of that's such a great question. The other way of doing it is mean absolute error. So MAE, mean absolute error. And so basically the absolute right here takes part of it. This goes to robustness, and which I'm sure is a term Connor has heard, which is handling of outliers. I'm pretty sure the RMSE is going to weight heavier on outliers. I saw a good comparison paper one time on the two. And so if you want one that's going to make your error look worse with outliers, this one's going to like make you look worse because of outliers. This one's going to downweight the impact of outliers because you're absolute valuing everything. But this one, when you square them, and you could do a very small data set right here where the misses are something like negative 100, 20, and then 5, which I know that does not add up. But the RMSE of this versus the MAE, which that has a huge outlier. So you can see, I read a paper on a data set on this, or an article at least. It wasn't a paper, I don't know. So that's going to be square root of 40, 20, or 425. Is this square root of 10,425? Is that 100 squared, Connor? Yeah, it's 10,000. And then absolute, so root means that's going to be, oh, we need to then divide by 3. So root mean squared error, mean of this, and then square root that. Okay. And then this one's going to be mean absolute error. So absolute error is 125, and that's square root of that. So this top one is going to equal to, I got the calculator on the screen. Top one's going to equal, I could just, and then we square root. And if you notice, that's probably going to be way bigger. So that's 59 basically. And then this divided by 3 is 42.66, I think, yeah. Oh, mean absolute percent error. I don't do much map. I should do more map. MAD is excellent. Ooh, yeah. Connor, we need to talk more about time series. It's really like the different metrics have different ways that they skew towards different directions. So great questions right there, Connor. So would I do the square root of the error first, then get the mean of it to, oh no. So the good news is so Coop, hopefully this makes sense. In this output right here, the residual standard error is the error right here. So the residual standard error is the root mean square error. Does that make sense, Coop? The residual standard error right there is the root mean square error. So the residual standard error is the root mean square error. So this is given to you right here. And I think, is it metrics? There's a library, Connor. You'll have to remind me of these things, but there's a library. Is it metrics? That might have RMSE. Yeah, it's in metrics. And then you can get the metric, you can get the RMSE. Oh, you have to put in the actual and the predicted. I wish it just took the model. I guess we can get the residuals. So you can look at the code for RMSE and takes the actual and the predicted. So we have to put in the actual, which is survey 10 $height. And then the predicted, which is this right here. Can we get the predicteds out of that? Predict M. There we go. 3.45. And I think it calculates it. Yeah. It doesn't use one of the corrections it uses for multiple models. And then you could do the MAE also right here. So we should get MAE. And then does it have MAP map? Look at that. Look at this, Connor, right here. Look at all those metrics we can get right here. Metrics is a pretty neat library. Does it have MAD? Which time series, right? So it always got it. It's mad. So it's got all of these metrics right here you can use to do comparisons between models to see. And so we can see that the typical miss. So Coop, here's the interpretation. When we predict somebody's height, we typically miss by about what? 3.5 inches, which is a moderate miss. I'd say it's like a moderate, like, I don't know, 3 to 4 inches is a bit of a miss, like a window of how much we typically miss by when we predict someone's height of 3 to 4 inches. That's a bit of a miss. That's a bit of a, like, I don't know if I'm going to use this model now because we're saying we usually miss by about 3 to 4 inches. I mean, it could be more, it could be less. We could get it perfect, but we typically miss. When we predict somebody's height, we typically miss. And look at it. It's about half the width of this window. This is not a full 3 to 4 inches right here, plus or minus, because this is a 95% prediction interval. We'll talk about that in class this week. And this is the confidence interval within here. Does this make more sense, Coop, that when we predict somebody's height, we typically miss our prediction by about 3.5 inches. Like we're usually off by about 3.5 inches. Like here's this person right here. Yeah, we were off. They were 3.5 inches taller than what we predicted. This person right here, we predicted something like 70 inches and they were 54 inches. So that should be negative 16. So this person right here, we were way off, but we typically miss by about 3.5 inches. So on average, like when you think about how the graphic looks over here, on average, we miss by this amount. There can be extreme values, though, that do not follow this. Like there can be extreme residuals down here, like we have an R model, that don't follow the typical miss that we make when predicting the Y value. So it's like, you know, is this model doing a good job? Well, it explains 36.13% of the variation, which is a large portion of the variation in height is explained by someone's weight. I don't know if I'd use this model by itself, though, even though it explains 36% of the variation. If we're predicting someone's height, we typically miss by about 3.5 inches, which is, you know, the difference between being like 5'9" and 6'6", you know, 6'1" or so. I know it's 4 inches, but yeah. That guy is exactly, that person is all the way out here in left field. We've got 12 more minutes. Let's see here. What was the question on visualization? Should we do, let's take a vote. So if you're still here, you get to vote. That's the way it always works. Let's reset the count here. We're re-voting right now on visualization or we're doing randomness. So it's your call. We'll do more randomness assignment because there was one for like the website. There was visualization. If it's close, I'm going to give it to visualization. If it's close, I'm going to give it to visualization. So we'll give it 30 seconds right here. If it's close, I'm going to give it to visualization. It's so weird. People chat and then like it, yeah, and so what questions are there on visualization? Yeah, Maddie, we might do that. I think we might do that. So I think we're going to go with visualization because we've done a lot of randomness today. It is close, so we're going to go with visualization. What were people wondering about visualization? It is close right now. There's the timer. I stopped it a tiny bit early on the timer, but it was close. So I was like, if it's close, I'm going to throw it over to visualization. What were people wondering about with the visualization? We did some of it last week, and there's a video showing how to do decision trees. So 30 minutes till class. Ah! I've got so many reminders. Put reminders in your phone. That's like Brian's tip for life is put reminders in your phone for everything. Because, I mean, we have our phones on us at all times. Your phone lives beside you. So it really helps to, well, it's BS320. What am I thinking? I was like, 201's coming up, right? Let's go over here. And let's take a look at visualization number 6. We will do more of the, whatchamacallits, candy bars. We will do more of the randomness assignments next office hours. So stay tuned for those. Thank you everyone for showing up. Really great office hours today. let's take a look over here. Just like how to set up and jump in case I'm in trouble. Yeah, let's talk about how to set up and jump. We'll start it off right here. We won't do much of the interpretation. Let's do the start of the visualization. So in this visualization, you're using 400 plus the last 2 of your UTID. So we need to make sure we take this random sample to start. That is very important. You are going to not include things that act like identifiers. We've got the interpretation below, but let's go ahead and bring up the jump output right here. And here we are with some jump output. Let's go ahead and open it. What was that? Did you know jump can run scripts? I've never done that, jump. Okay. So the very first thing right here we need to know about doing the visualization is that we do not include things that are identifiers or things that act like identifiers. Do you see anything right here? I need your help. Do you see anything that is an identifier? Does anyone see anything? And I want you to tell me variable numbers. People help me out. The more you help me out, the better we do. Does anyone see any variables right here that are identifiers? Does anyone see any variables that are identifiers? Does anyone see any variables here that are identifiers? You're like, that's an identifier, Brian. I see it. I see that identifier hiding out there. That's an identifier. So decision trees take exactly, Maddie. Great job right there. We're going to delete that. And so we're just going to go right here. We're going to click on it and we're going to just delete. So it's now deleted. We don't have to worry about it. This is not the best way to handle data, but this is an assignment. So I'm just going to get rid of it so it won't bother me anymore. So when we do this right here, decision trees can take quantitative or categorical Ys. Decision trees can take quantitative or categorical X's. But we don't put identifiers in them, and we don't put things that act like identifiers. So that's key. We don't put identifiers in here, and we don't put things that act like identifiers. Once again, I do want to mention you should use a random sample, table, subset. I don't always take random samples because, I'm just showing how to do the work, and this is just how to take a random sample, and that's how we take a random sample. Do make sure you're using the random sample, and I still have O1 deleted. Now, when does something act like an identifier? If you're in the chat right now, let's throw some 20 points so we get a few answers right here. I want to know your favorite ice cream flavor. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? Mine is going to be today, I like half-baked. If everyone's ever had half-baked by Ben & Jerry's, oh my gosh. We got some lemon sorbado. How'd you delete it? You can click on it and just delete it. So you can just click on it and delete it. Now, don't delete gender, but if you click on it and then hit delete, don't do this. It'll delete it. So don't do that. Cookie dough, guava. Oh, guava sounds good. Guava sounds good. Cookie dough, moose tracks. Now, at this point, I want you to look at these right here. I want to know theoretically, and let's throw some 20 points to the chat. In truth, is your favorite ice cream flavor an identifier? I said, Maddie's like, I had some half-baked. That was so good. You hit that like brownie chunk, and you're like, oh, these brownies are so good. My fiance's like, calm down. It's just brownies. What was this brownie batter? I'm just like tearing up. It's not an identifier exactly. But so, Caitlin, why is it kind of acting like an identifier? Why is it kind of acting like an identifier? Why is it kind of acting like an identifier? And we have to be very careful because if you're using a lot of like Cherry Garcia, ooh, that's good. It's not an identifier, but why is it at this point? At this point, it is an identifier with what we've answered. We have guava. I mean, at this point, it's acting completely like an identifier. It's not truly an identifier. If you right click on it, you should be able to delete it too. If you right click, you can go to delete column. So right click on it. Try that on the Mac. Because only one person's picking it because an identifier has to be unique. Now, in the future, an identifier needs to stay unique. So it is unique right now, Caitlin. 100% exactly what I was looking for. And then in the future, it might not be unique because, like Maddie's like, oh, I had half-baked too, so maybe that's Maddie's favorite also. So in this instance, it can repeat. So it's acting like an identifier, and it's almost a little bit like an identifier. Like someone's like, oh, the people who like guava, and it might be 2 people. So, man, I got to type guava right there, Connor. So let's think about what an identifier is. An identifier is a special type of what variable? An identifier is a special type of what variable? So an identifier is a special type of what variable? You're welcome, Tori. Great questions, Tori. That's why I love when people are here, because maybe you run this little issue and we can just be like, oh, try this, like right-click this. I've been using Macs and PC for a long time. I grew up on PC and I started using Mac. So I think the question was, an identifier is a special type of what variable? An identifier is a special case of this, where it can only have groups of 1. That's a hint right there. An identifier is a special type of this variable where it can only have groups of 1, where everything is in its own group of 1. It's categorical. Identifiers are special case categorical. Now, if you go back, you'll be like, wait a minute, Brian, that one was quantitative, but it was just like a number group. So I know. There's, if you look back at the earlier thing. So with this right here, it's categorical. So what does that mean? I've had people saying it's all right. I've had people say high school GPA has a lot of values that can be answered, but high school GPA is quantitative. Yep. We can do that one tomorrow. I don't think that's in the video, and we've got like 4 more minutes. I teach in 24 minutes. We can do that one tomorrow. Wyndham, jump in tomorrow during one of the office hours, and we'll work on that one right at the start. So we'll talk about how to do that one right there. So this cannot be an identifier right here, but what looks like it could be an identifier? What could be an identifier? Awesome, Wyndham. You got it. We'll put it in the recording for you. Maybe send me an email if you want, and I'll try to remember, because we'll make sure. I bet people want it. We'll do that one tomorrow. We did the whole homework today. We're not going to discretize it. I like it right there. You could discretize a variable. Pretend you didn't hear that, 201. Discretizing means to make something discrete. Which one of these acts like an identifier by having so many levels? Which of these acts like an identifier? Which of these acts like an identifier? Any ideas? Any numbers on the screen? Look like it could be an identifier? I shouldn't say could be an identifier, but act like an identifier. Which of these on the screen looks like it could almost act like an identifier? Major. If you look at major right here and we just do the analysis of it, you can click that button. I should start using it more. You can see that major has so many levels. Major has an absurd amount of levels. Exactly. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to click on it, and we're going to delete, and we delete it. Just for now, this is how we're handling it for this assignment. So with this deleted right here, we've deleted major. And let's see. Does anyone see anything on this screen? We've got right here that has like an other category. That's not too much. That's just 5 levels. We've got 425 observations, and we got 5 groups. That's not really going to identify people. Do you see anything on this screen? Do you see any? I'll go all the way to the end. Do you see anything on this screen that could maybe act like an identifier? What number do you think on this screen could act like an identifier? What number right here could act like an identifier? What number here could act like an identifier? So like Q37, favorite phone app. Yep. Favorite phone app has so many levels right here that it's going to act like an identifier. Now, we're not saying it is an identifier, but it could act like an identifier. Does that make sense? So it's going to act like an identifier, not truly an identifier. Someone said Canvas. How nice of them right there. Banking app, generic banking app. So we're just going to delete this. Go away. We don't want you in our data set. So now we're going to go here to Analyze Predictive Modeling Partition. So Analyze Predictive Modeling Partition. I need to make a screen cap for jump with that. So Analyze Predictive Modeling Partition. And with this right here, we are going to do this. Here's the steps. Go ahead and click inside of here one time. Click inside of there one time. Hit Control A to select all the variables. With all the variables selected, drag and drop right here. I usually expand this window, and I'll do this process again after this. Then I scroll to the variable I want to predict, which is like, how much do you read? I click it one time, make sure to click it, and then drag right here. Now you've done it. Let's repeat the process again. I'm going to do it one more time slow and then one more time fast. Here's the process again. Inside of this window, click Command or Control A to select everything. Now click and drag into the X box right here. Next, you want to click the variable you're interested in. Make sure to click it. So we're going to click the variable we want and release. Now we're going to click and drag into the Y box right here. And we've done it. So once again, in fast motion right here, let's just see it in fast motion time. Go ahead and hit Command or Control A, drag everything over, and then click on the variable you want one time, and then drag. Now you might say, Brian, why can't I just drag? And I think we're doing salary, is it? So we're doing Q18. That is correct, Maddie. I'm 99% certain. We can take a look, because I don't want to say something wrong. Always double checking. Q18, that is correct. That is correct, Q18. Now you might say, Brian, I'm going to do this right here. I'm just going to drag and, oh, I told you to click on it. I said click and release. I've done this a few times. You have to click and release. So that's why I say you click on it and release. So you need to click it and then release. I promise you I've done this a few times. So you click it, you release, and you drag. If you drag, it'll scroll across. It drove me nuts about the first 20 times I did it, and then I realized you got to click and release. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. We're predicting a quantitative Y from all these categorical and quantitative X's. Let's go ahead and click OK, and we get our decision tree. This is not the one you're doing. This is the one I'm doing. So let's just take a quick look at this right here. We're going to go split, split, split. Oh, we didn't get a symmetric one. One thing I want to point out right here is you can zoom out. So you can always use Control-Shift-minus or Command-Shift-minus. And I'm zooming out. What you want on your screen by itself, you 100% want this all right here on its own screen. I would not split apart the decision tree. This should be one clear kind of thing together. Then you could put this tree on its own right here. You could maybe make it bigger if you want. Doesn't truly matter. This is probably one of the least important parts of it. This tree down here on one screen is the most important part of it. So we also need the leaf report. So make sure to include a leaf report. And let's just talk briefly about this. I do have other videos on this. One thing I do want to point out is that in this decision tree, we cannot color the points. That's only for categorical variables. So you might have been sent here. I might have sent it to this. I'll say, I'll talk about this here. Don't worry. In the video, I think I color the points because it's categorical. This is not a categorical Y. So we are not coloring the points here. So you might have seen that. You're like, yes, Brian, we get it. You said it twice now. This is a quantitative Y. I'm predicting how many books someone reads weekly for this one. You're predicting, I think, weekly salary someone is predicting that they'll make. So when you look at this output right here, I am predicting the weekly, hourly textbook someone reads. And the variables that go into that are, what was your sibling order? Only children right here. Ooh, look at that. That is so interesting. The first thing that it's split on how much people read is, were you an only child? And only children right here have the second highest mean. The only people who have higher means than that are going to be the people down here on the bottom. And we've got people here are in the middle, the youngest are the oldest. So these are people who have siblings. We could call these people who don't have siblings, people who have siblings. And then when you split here down to the bottom, these people have been awake longer, equal to 19 hours at one consecutive time. These people have been awake longer or consecutive to 72 hours. And that might be due to outliers. I'm really wondering, yeah, this person up here who says they read, that individual is really drastically impacting this group down here, because there's only 11 people and the mean for this group is 15. And this person right here for 11 people says they read 92 hours. I'm really wondering what happens if we go and remove that person. So it does the splits for everyone. Exactly. It'll do your splits for you. And then you can see each group around here. I want to point something out. So this is very important to understanding this output. We'll be covering this day in class or tomorrow, if you're in tomorrow's class. When you see this output right here, the first thing you should do, and I know I didn't get all of it, I just want to point to the bottom part of this. I'll explain why. I'm looking at the leaves down here on the bottom. You should understand that this group right here is group 1. That's a horrible one. This is group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. And this is group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4. So you can see right here, group 1 has 371 people in it, which had an average of 6.9 reading hours. Group 2 had 11 people in it with an average of 14.6. That's our highest group. Group 3 had 8 people in it, which is down here also, and had an average of 17 Oh, wait, is that our highest group? Yeah, that is the highest group. Oh, wow, I can't read means today. So this is the highest group. It's people who don't stay up late at night or don't stay up really long. So, hey, healthy, I stay up too late. So good for them. And group 4 over here. So this would be our highest group. Group 3 is our highest group. And group 1 is our lowest group. Not that interesting of a tree, but hopefully it makes more sense how you get these bottom leaves down here, which you have group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and the groups are over here also. Does this make the output make a little more sense, Maddie? I wouldn't take a screenshot like that. You want this tree to be all in one screenshot right here. You want to include the tree at the top. You want to include the leaf report, and we'll talk about this more in class. But does this help out with understanding what's going on? Like if you go down here, you're talking about the X values within it, and then the mean right here is the value of the Y. Does this make more sense to understand this is the value? Let me highlight the value of the Y. What I'm highlighting in yellow right now is the value of the Y for each group. So that's the value of the y for each group. And then what I'm highlighting in green is going to be the, these two colors. What I'm highlighting in green is their X values. Like here's their X questions that go down to it. So these are the X questions we would ask that explain how many hours people are reading a week. So you have to go through and follow the pathway down. Like I would say, I'm a middle child and I've definitely been awake very late. So are we taking screenshots of the partition as well? You could send me your screenshots to double check. You should have everything. Let me show the output again. You should have everything. Tori, awesome. I'm glad that helps. You're welcome, Tori. I would take a screenshot of this by itself. So I would take a screenshot of this by itself. I'll show you what I would screenshot, then I'm going to head off and go teach. Did I double include this already? I can't remember if I included that top part. I would screenshot I did include it, so I can snip that out. Cut it out. Thank you, Dave. Cool, yay. I would screenshot. Oh, I don't want that to be that small. Don't make things too small. Decrease that size. I would screenshot. That's a good size for everything. Okay. Center it. You could get it all on one page. It's going to be close. I don't want to make it too small. That's good enough. And then we want to go back to the jump output. And then we go down here to this. Yeah, we'll get it all on one page right now. Want a better screenshot. I am a screenshot aficionado. If you get a little bit too much, you can always remove it. That's good right there. And then we go down here and we put that. Yep. So that's all the output. It's all on one page now. Senora, is that till tomorrow? I think, or Sayonara. Oh, Sayonara. That's what that is. Yeah. I think, does this explain everything? Well, we've got everything. I think that's got it. There's all the screenshot information. It's big enough to read, clear enough to read. Make sure to use. Oh, that's the issue. I double included this. So I'm going to go to crop. I forgot that I did that. We're going to go to crop and we're going to remove this and crop that out of the image. There we go. Now we could increase size or do things. Exactly. Thank you, Connor, right there. It's really good advice. Like if you notice, I removed that extra bit, little bits, it's trailing on there, but that's got it. We're going to head off. We're going to start class here soon. So I'll see everybody later. Remember, come back tomorrow for more randomness assignments. I'm just going to bump into the microphone, but that's it for now. Bye, everybody. Let's go over here. Bye, everybody. Bye.